Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is my man Chicken Son, Al Zapatera, Red Devil off of Stickler Strains Chicken. It's amazing fish and an amazing fish here. Anyway, I want to talk about breeding, ethics, and just overall fish etiquette. Um, to get a fish like this, the breeder, of course, focused on location breeding. Of course, he's seeing the difference in the way this fish looks. Now, a lot of people may get caught up in the big lips. For me, it's more about the body structure because in an aquarium they don't need those lips. It's more about the body structure of the fish. So I'm quite sure once he's seen the body structure of this fish, he decided to start breeding upon that. And this fish looks just like his dad as far as his body structure. The way you maintain the genetics and fish like this, or fish in general, is by being honest with yourself. We in a day and age where people nowadays are more caught up in making money off of these fish instead of maintaining the preservation of the fish. Like you can't go to Nicaragua and get these fish anymore. You can't have them imported. You can't go and collect them. So it's up to us to maintain the integrity of the fish by doing location breeding. You got to breed the fish from the same location with the same type of genetics. And for me, I like this red devil. He's tall body. And because of that tall body, he's able to have a hump. Not only that, but proportioned perfectly. This fish is proportioned perfectly. There's some of the things I look for in a fish. There's another local fish here in my area. Fish name is Cosmo. Man, that's probably one of the best red devils I've ever seen as well. He's a show winner as well. First place show winner. He's a tremendous fish, and the guy who owns him is an awesome fish keeper. He knows his stuff, especially when it comes to the red devils. So buying, when you want to buy a specific fish, it's best to buy them from breeders who specialize in breeding that particular style of fish. And like I said, this fish comes from a guy who breed red devils. He know the look. He call his fish. He call them out, which means to get rid of the undesirable fish, so he can maintain the integrity of the fish. And that's the same as the breeder or the owner of Cosmo. He's real selective on the fish that he keep and he breeds. That's the only way you're gonna get high quality fish. You can go into a pet store and get something like let's say a Trimac, and because of the different locations of these fish, they look different. Like this fish is a red devil, but he looks different from red devils from different locations. So when you go into here we have a store called House of Tropics. It's a real big fish store, probably one of the largest in Maryland, maybe one of the largest in the East Coast. But because they're not getting that fish from, or they're not maintaining the information from the breeder, there's no telling what type of fish you're gonna get. So even if you went in the store and brought one of these, there's no way to maintain the integrity of this fish with his offspring, because you don't even know where he come from. So you don't know what to breed him for, what to breed him to, and what you're breeding for. It's people that in the fish game that have been around for years, and they have a lot of knowledge, but I think money has pretty much dictated the direction that they want to go into. So with money, then you breed for money. You lose the integrity of the fish. You start breeding anything. You're breeding fish without a background, and you're not breeding for structure. You're not breeding for anything. You just breeding any fish that pair up, basically. And if you want to maintain the integrity of your fish, We got to get out of that practice. Now, I've had this guy for over a year. He's never been bred. I'm waiting for a female with the same genetics that he has. Most likely the female had to come from the same location as his parents. Until then, he won't be bred. I want to show him, of course. Hopefully, the pandemic that we're in, it'll kind of cease and things will start to open up and become safe. And then I could enter this guy into fish shows. But the goal is to try to breed this guy and maintain the integrity, of this particular fish and his dad, and and keeping the same standards as his breeder. But again, the only way we can do that is by, breeding for like fish, his genetics, breeding from fish from the same location. So if you don't know where your fish we're going back to Trimax. It's Trimax being discovered in new locations, as of last year, and they look totally different from Trimax that was located a few years ago or imported a few years ago. So it's important to know the location of your Trimac if you're trying to maintain the integrity of that fish. The same look, the same genetics, of course. It comes with the look, the temperament, the size, the color. But if you're just buying a Trimac from the store, it's hard to maintain the integrity of that fish because you don't know his location. Most likely he's scatterbred with a bunch of different locations. He don't have that true Trimac look. Because he has the genetics of Trimax that come from different locations. And if you know anything about Trimax, different locations, different size fish, different shaped fish. Same with Midas. Different locations, different shaped fish. And apparently same with Red Devils. Different location, different shaped fish. So find yourself a breeder who breeds the type of fish that you like as far as structure and soundness, and stick with that person. Pick his brain or pick her brain. Try to figure out why they breeding those type of fish, where the fish come from, and what's the best way to maintain the integrity of the fish. If you go, like I said, if you go into somebody who just breeding Red Devils and they can't tell you where their fish come from, then are you going to be digging yourself in a hole? You setting yourself back. I sold a lot of fish, a lot of Midas, and I can guarantee you they didn't probably pass hands a couple times, and the people who have them down, they couldn't tell you anything about them. So when they breed them, they just breed into other Midas or Midas looking fish, and they're coming up with anything. You could breed your fish and do whatever you want with your fish, that's your business, but when you become a serious hobbyist, you'll start to understand that the fish game is more than buying yourself a 20-gallon tank and going to PetSmart buying yourself some fish. I had to learn that real fast by just hanging out with people who know fish, taking information from different people. And coming up with my own ideas and theories. Well, not my own theories and ideas, but the ideas and theories from different people, and coming up with my own plan on the direction I want to go with the fish. So again, it's best to find out the location of your fish. It's best to find a fish that you like. It's best to find out from that breeder what's direction to breed. We're going to talk about inbreeding and line breeding as well, because I believe you can inbreed fish and still maintain the integrity. You just got to know what you're doing with the fish. You got to call your fish. It can't be about money. You can't be selling them when they just a few inches, just to make a quick buck. I understand you can't keep them all, but you gotta be able to keep some of your fish. That way you can see what you breed. That's another thing. Money has ripped a hole right into the hobby because it becomes about selling fish. Well, so the next time I get on, we'll talk about inbreeding, line breeding, and different breedings, and also being able to maintain. Because like I said, you can inbreed these fish and still maintain the integrity of the fish. I inbred red as leaders, and they still by far some of the best red as leaders you can find. But anyway, YouTube, thanks for listening. Remember to like, share, subscribe. If there's anything you want to add to the content, feel free to leave a comment. If there's anything that I said that may be inaccurate, leave a comment. Any constructive criticism or anything, just leave a comment. But the whole reason for this YouTube channel and also my page on Facebook is to share information. That's the only way you're going to learn about these fish, is to be able to share information. Again, thanks for watching. Peace.